Good morning and happy Sunday. Today I'm going to be making migas, which is a Mexican breakfast that I love. I'm sure all my Hispanic friends will be cringing after they watch this with my version of migas, but basically it's just a mixture of scrambled eggs. I'm going to use a little bit of green salsa. I'm going to fry my tortillas in avocado oil. I'm going to add in that red onion that I told you guys to keep from the buffalo chicken salad video. If you didn't watch it, just make sure you've got some red onion, thinly sliced. I've got some grape tomatoes that are sliced in half. You can also use cherry tomatoes. And then I have 5 corn tortillas that are, I just sliced them and cut them into smaller pieces. So I'm going to start by turning on my pan. I'm going to just go ahead and put it on medium heat. I've already got my avocado oil in there. I'm going to let that heat up. I love avocado oil because, as you can see, it's got a really high smoke point, 460 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's good also if you want to use it like for grilling, or a lot of times when I'm browning meat and I can start a fire quickly. And then we are going to top it off with shredded cheddar cheese. So follow me as I take you on this journey. It's great for breakfast on the weekends. It's not complicated to make, and it's good for a brunch item too. You could serve it with a Bloody Mary or a mimosa. Sounds delicious, but it's only 7 o'clock, so I'm having coffee. Okay, so my avocado oil is heated up. You can tell by how fluidly it moves. So I'm going to start by adding in all of, whoa, you can see these are starting to fry. I put probably at least like 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil because I'm going to use this oil also. I want it to last a little bit for my eggs so my eggs don't stick. But basically I just kind of add in the tortilla strips and I wait for these to get a little bit more golden, and then I next add in my onions so that those have, I kind of leave them for just a minute and then I make sure they're all spread out, and then I do my best that I can do to try and flip them over so that both sides get covered in a little bit of oil. Okay. As you can see, they're getting a little bit more golden in color. I went ahead and stirred them, flipped them over a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in my onions. You can see we've got a little bit of excess oil still in the pan, so that's good for our onions, to have a little oil left over for our onions. And you can add as little onions or as much onions as you like. I love onions, so I put a lot. Now, migas are also good if you want to add in a meat of your choice. You could use chorizo, you could use just breakfast sausage, bacon, whatever you want to put into there. It's easier if you do it pre-cooked, but you could cook it and then you could even fry your tortillas in a little bit of the grease from the meat. I'm a big fan of frying with meat grease, so just makes everything more flavorful and gives it just some more flavor. So now I'm gonna stir these so that break up my onions a little bit, get them down onto that skillet so they can cook. Oh my gosh, I love the smell of fried onions. And you can see my tortillas are still getting some more color. Oh, I wish you could smell this. It smells delicious. This is one way to get people up in the morning, is to get some onions frying. At the same time, you want to make sure that you're still kind of flipping those tortillas so that they're not getting burned. I'm very uncoordinated with my left hand. That's why my cooking always looks strange in these videos. Yum. You can see my tortillas are starting to brown a little bit. So we'll let that cook a little bit more, get these onions a little bit softer. And then I'll add in some salsa and my sliced tomato. Doesn't that just look so pretty? I'm gonna go ahead and add a few tomatoes in. I just didn't have any breakfast meat at my house, so that's why I'm making just a veggie version of this. But I mean, these are things that I usually have in my fridge anyways, because I always have an onion of some kind. I usually have a carton of some kind of cherry tomatoes, grape tomatoes, and then basically I just buy a big thing of corn tortillas and just keep them in my fridge. They last forever in the fridge. Now I'm gonna do about a little bit of green salsa. I love green salsa. And then just stir that all around. It is gonna look a little bit, I don't know a better word to say than moist. It's gonna look a little moist. You feel like you're making it soggy, but you're gonna just let this kind of reduce down, get the liquid out of this before you add in your eggs. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. And guys, this is a quick breakfast. I mean, it barely takes any time to chop up these vegetables. And then this just all cooks so fast. If you're in a time crunch, but you still want something delicious for breakfast, this is the way to go. So I'm just gonna let this cook down for a little bit so it's not so soggy before I add in my eggs. Okay, you can tell the liquid has reduced down out of that salsa, so now it's time to put in our eggs. I'm doing 6 eggs this morning. And you can literally just pour them on like that because they're on top of so much stuff. And then that gives you time to break up those yolks, and essentially you're kind of doing like a scrambled egg. Half the time I just drop my eggs in there. I don't even pour them in a bowl. Yummy. So, and I think this has plenty of oil in it so that your eggs might stick a little bit, but it's worth it. You can add more oil. I just don't want my stuff like so greasy. So basically you just keep doing like you would with scrambled eggs. You just keep stirring it. So we'll just give this a minute to cook. Okay, and then when you get to the point where you can tell your eggs are kind of getting formed, I like to put in my cheese at that point. I don't like to put it in too early because then it ends up just sticking to the pan and causing a huge mess. So I'm just not talented with the trying to film and stir stuff. But then you just stir in your cheese. Okay, I think we're done. Does that not look delicious? This is just a good way to break up your normal breakfast routine on the weekends. If you don't have biscuits and gravy and pancakes, this is just something else to add to your rotation on the weekend. So this will be delicious. I just remembered that I had some chopped cilantro in the fridge. So I'm going to top it with some cilantro and serve it with some avocado slices. This is also really good to serve in tortillas, so get you some good homemade tortillas, put it in there. You can use your corn tortillas, you can use carb sense tortillas, and just put that in there with some Cholula, and it is delicious. You can thank me later. All right, I've got it all plated, topped with cilantro and some avocado slices to go with it. Looks absolutely delicious. I gave it a sprinkling of Cholula. If you saw how I eat my food with Cholula, you wouldn't be able to see my food anymore. So that also gives you some added spice. This would also be really good with some chopped up like fresh jalapenos in it, stuff like that. But again, I'm making it for my family and my kids won't eat it if it's too spicy. So I hope you enjoy it. And if you do, if you have any questions on anything, leave it in the comments below. Please like it and subscribe and have a great Sunday.